It's certainly not obvious, but veterans are different. There are currently 2.4 million veterans in Great Britain. We have different CVs, diverse experiences to that of our civilian counterparts, and we have taken part in some very different, and one could argue, much tougher kinds of training programs. As a former British Army officer with experience serving my country as a military interpreter and as the British Army spokesperson in Iraq, I am proud to now lead the Veterans Work Stream of the Diversity Project. I left the Army as a captain after nearly 8 years in uniform, and since then, I've worked at Barclays Capital, Goldman Sachs, and now for Northern Trust. Many people ask how I transitioned from my days in uniform to working in an office. It took a while for me to get used to being a civilian, but the Army taught me a very special set of skills, and I still use many of them today, including leadership, teamwork, keeping calm under pressure, and the ability to prioritize, but mainly to crack on and get the job done. On the Diversity Project app, you will find a flyer explaining why hiring veterans makes good business sense. Just under 15,000 soldiers and officers leave the Army, Navy, Air Force, and the Marines every year. In a report commissioned by Deloitte in 2016, approximately 30% of firms did not consider veterans when developing their recruitment strategies. Although the majority claimed to be more open-minded, 60% of businesses still ruled out recruiting someone if they had no industry experience, and this puts veterans at an immediate disadvantage. Our industry is not currently capitalising on the opportunity to hire talented and committed veterans. So that's where the Veterans Work Stream of the Diversity Project comes in. We want to help employers understand the value of those who have served their nation can bring to the commercial world. And we will work with all Diversity Project members to provide guidance on the Armed Forces Covenant and encourage them to show their support for veterans by signing the Armed Forces Covenant by early 2021. On joining the Armed Forces, young volunteers adopt an ethos of selfless service, a lifestyle far removed from that of their civilian, and ready to go wherever they are ordered, totally committed to the task in hand, and ultimately prepared to give their lives for their team and their mission. As a result, the argument goes, society has a duty to ensure that on leaving the military, they are integrated successfully back into civilian society and suffer no disadvantage as a result of having served. So, our first ask today is that all Diversity Project member firms consider signing the Armed Forces Covenant. Again, you can find a handout relating to the AFC on the Diversity Project app. Not only is this a way to show your support, it's also another way for companies and organisations to show that they are committed to a diverse and inclusive workforce. To date, nearly 6,000 organisations have signed this public pledge of their support for veterans. But to date, only 10 Diversity Project member firms have signed it. So get in touch with the Veterans Workstream if you're interested in learning more. Alternatively, take a look at the Diversity Project app and the Diversity Project website. We've provided some case studies on organisations that have signed, which will provide an insight into their reasons and benefits for doing so. The Armed Forces Covenant is the first rung on the ladder of the MOD Employee Engagement Scheme, and you can then progress to the Employee Engagement Scheme to the Gold Award, where you are recognised as an advocate for the Armed Forces and their personnel. Secondly, the Vets Workstream is made up of veterans, all of whom lead or take part in their own firm's veterans networks. As a collective, and through our connections with the MOD and the Career Transitions Partnership, we are industry experts in veteran support, and we'd be happy to offer our support to organisations looking to set up Armed Forces internal networks. Contact us through the Diversity Project. This is another way to increase your company's diversity and inclusion, as well as an opportunity to build back better. You can guarantee that we will help you crack on and get the job done.